We all want this purple master's badge, right? But how do we do it? Especially as solo queue warriors and on this crappy map? Well, relax. Take out your handy dandy notebooks, because this is the official How to Solo Queue to Masters on Kings Canyon guide, or my Diamond to Masters guide for Season 10 on Kings Canyon. Lego. Let's start off with, I think, the most important tip, and that's going to be the mental health tip. You know, Kings Canyon solo queue is really rough. It is the worst rank experience of any map. And, you know, added to the fact that you're going to have toxic teammates, you're going to have teammates that don't listen, and you're just going to have the typical random, you know, teammate experience. You will have some good ones, so, you know, don't lose hope on humanity. But, you know, this rank split also getting shortened, and us all, you know, having jobs, having other things to do. We might be rushing to hit that rank and get frustrated if, you know, one day doesn't go our way. But we just have to keep going. You know, take the breaks when you need to. Go take a walk if it's just not going well. You know, the game's always going to be there, and there's always going to be more rank splits to hit that. So try and take it easy, take care of yourselves, and take breaks when you need to. With that being said, now let's talk about the best legends for solo queuing on Kings Canyon. Number 1, Caustic. Caustic's going to be the first legend, and I think the best legend for solo queuing. On this map where third parties are everywhere, the fights tend to be very close range, and you have random teammates. Having a Caustic that can gas up any area and allow your team to fight anyone off, or allow your team to reset or get that res safely, is key. As well as in end zones, he really allows you to carry the fight and gives you a great chance to win every single end game. And obviously winning games is the best way to climb in the higher ranks. Valkyrie is going to be number 2, and she's another legend that's great for solo queuing. Her strength is that, you know, she can get out of possible third parties and sticky situations where you might be pinched. Though if you do have randoms that don't use mics, they might not be close to you in one of those like split second times that you have to ult out. So she's also useful for ratting and, you know, you being selfish, keeping yourself alive and saving your RP. And number 3, Octane. He's going to be my third recommendation because he can be played very aggressively for some of my more aggro viewers, but also possesses the ability to jump ahead your whole team to safety, or at least away from a conflict, which just helps keep you guys alive as well. But you can also carry the fights, get that entry damage, be the entry fragger, and really carry your team solo queuing no matter who your teammates are. So these are 3 different legends to try. 1 offensive, 1 rotational, and 1 defensive. Try them out, and hopefully one of them makes your solo queue journey a bit easier. Let us quickly discuss and do a little bit of Kings Canyon map analysis. So we got no changes for this split on Kings Canyon for Season 10. And what is the verdict is that it sucks. POIs are super close together, so any average length fight will have a team or 2 teams or 3 teams roll up on it to third party to third party to third party. There are a lot of chokes. So if you are late to rotate to a section, there will always be a team holding you out, and unless you have a Valkyrie, you'll have no way of getting into that zone, which usually causes either the team holding you out and you to die, or just everyone dies. On this map, you have to play really smart about where you want to hold and what fights to take, and avoid as much as possible taking long, drawn-out 3v3s in the mid-game, because that's asking for you to get thirded. So the analysis of this map is you have to play very smart. You have to choose the third parties or the fights to take, and just try and play zone, end zones, hit your beacons, and rotate as smart as possible. And let's quickly talk about what are the best guns to use. So definitely, if you're solo queuing, what you want to do is you want to use SMGs, you want to use good mid-range guns, and shotguns. You don't really want to deal with long-range stuff. You don't want to deal with longbow, you know, the scout, stuff like that, because as a solo queuer, you're going to want to finish fights as fast as possible. You want to get in and get out, and it's going to be a lot of holding spots and fighting, you know, in close ranges, because you don't have time to poke damage, to build up evo shields. You're fighting, it has to be instantaneous. These fights have to be extremely quick as a solo queuer, so you want to use, you know, R9, 301, you know, Flatline, Volt, whether it goes to Eva, Peacekeeper, Mastiff, Prowler. These are the guns you want to be using because they're fast, they're strong, and they're good in the close to mid-range. So that's what you want to be using as a solo queuer. So where should you land on Kings Canyon? I'm going to tell you a few places that I usually try and land because they're usually safe and they don't get contested. Artillery this season seems to be really good to land. You have Broken Relay, Swamps, Hydro Dam, the Repulsor area if there's not a lot of teams at Crypto, and then you can fight them. Market seems to be free, but other than that, you know, a lot of the high tier loot, which the loot density on Kings Canyon is really bad. There's like really high loot and then you have to just sort of get lucky. but you just have to be very careful where you land and look at the dropship, which way it's going, and just try and pick an area that's not heavily contested, because like I've said before, you do not want to contest on this map. It's so easy to third party. And really stay away from, spotted lakes, crash site, caustic, crypto a lot of times, even, rig, capacitor. These are places that you don't want to be caught at. There's going to be multiple teams and you're going to be quickly third party. So even though there's really good loot, unless your team is super coordinated, probably try not to land there. Finally, let's move on to what is the best playstyle for ranked Kings Canyon on Season 10. But first, if you enjoy this guide and enjoy other ranked guides, ranked tips, shorts, or live streams, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of that content. We're less than 200 subs away from YouTube partner, so help me out. But what is the best playstyle? Let me describe this. If you're solo queuing, you really don't have a lot of options on this map. The way, on Kings Canyon to consistently gain RP is to play very passive. You should always do your best to communicate if there are teams around you when you're dropping, and try and land alone so you guys can get the best loot possible and not die right off a drop and lose max RP. Hopefully someone is playing a recon character and you can try and get to the beacon, try and pick the best spot in the second zone to rotate to, and then hold. And the key at this point is picking the best spot to hold, because you want the place that when the zone starts closing, you guys can hold it without the worry of a team coming from the back, so that you have to fight off from two different angles. You want to always fight from second zone forward. You don't want anyone rotating on your back, so always watch your back and hold zone forward. That'll give you the best chance of fighting off any team that could push you. And then at this point, you want to just look for an easy third party that you can go through, clean up, get some RP if you want and if you can before the later zones, but you don't need RP on this map. And it also just, gets you better loot and gets you more heals and stuff like that. But playing like this, playing a little bit more passive, picking your chances, playing really good spots in zone allows you to maximize your KP late, maximize your chance of winning the game, which is how you really climb. And at this point, and if you're obviously dying 8th, 6th, 7th, you're losing not that much RP that you can really make up with another good game. And it's a consistent way that you stay alive, can maximize the kills that you get late, and it just allows you to consistently start slowly moving up without losing those big chunks of 48s or 36. It may be easier said than done, and there are going to be slow moments, but this map is very ruthless when it comes to third parties and getting you killed. So if you aren't careful, you're going to run into back-to-back really bad matches. And if you do get one of those matches where teammates don't listen or don't care to even be around you, all you can do is try and sprint after them, stay as close as you can, do what you can, ping as much as you can, and just do the best and keep your head on straight and just keep grinding at it, because I know this season and this split is just not easy on Kings Canyon. And if you want more strategies and team comps in case you aren't solo queuing, check out my rank guide for this split on Kings Canyon right here.